Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Tech with Ankush again. So till now, I had covered this module, create, configure and manage identities. Today I will start this module, describe the core architecture components of Azure. So here it says what is Azure. We know that like we can get the services on a rent from Microsoft. Then Azure accounts, like there are three Azure accounts. One is free account which on which we get 30 days trial plus $200 credit, and we have to use this credit till 30 days. And on my first video I had shown you how we can create a free Azure account. And there is one more account, that is student account. In student account we get $100 that is valid for 12 months. But for student account we also need the our identity to prove as we are a student. And the third is pay as you go account. Then this interacting with Azure. Now describe physical infrastructure and management. So let us start. So basically Azure infrastructure is made up of two parts. One is physical infrastructure like the real machine, buildings and networking, and management. The second is management infrastructure, meaning the software layer used to deploy and manage resources. So let me first start this physical infrastructure. Uh, in Azure physical infrastructure, we have data centers. Like we can say data centers, like it's like a huge building, and it is like massive or highly secure building, and it has thousands of servers, racks of hardware, high speed networking, advanced cooling system, redundant power supplies. And Azure has many data centers across the world, but we cannot access a single data center directly because of security. Instead, Microsoft groups them into larger logical units, and that is known as regions or availability zone. So now, like regarding Azure, it has 70 plus Azure regions, and there are 400 plus data centers. And if we check the globe, so we can see these lights. So these are the data like these are the regions where data center is located. So this is South Africa. So it is in Brazil, Brazil South here. And if I will change the mode, I can see like it's in Australia Central. These are the regions where the data centers are located. And in one region, there can be more data centers. So regions, we can say a region is like a location on Earth that contain one or more data centers close to each other. Like example, East US, West Europe, Central India. And when we create any resource, we have to select a region. And why region matters? Like they define where our data lives. They help ensure low latency for users near that region. Like so, if I am from India and if I am creating a resource, so I have to place my resources in India location to reduce the latency. Then like some VM sizes or services exist in certain regions. So there are some like we can say like there are some less options available. So so in some regions like we can't create all type of virtual machines with same configuration. So there are some limitations, but it's very less. And some services are global, don't require a region. Like these services are global. Like Microsoft Enter ID, if we create a Microsoft Enter ID, that are not like strict to any region, or as your traffic manager or as your DNS. So these are the global services. Now comes the availability zones. Inside many regions, Azure has availability zones. Like availability zone, like it has, like it's a basic separate data center with its own power, its own cooling, its own network. And zones are designed so that if one data center fails, the other continue running. And Azure guarantees at least 3 availability zones in any region that supports them. Example, zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, all connected through high speed fiber. So let me explain you. Like, let us assume this is a region and it is Azure region, and this is East US. So in this region, there must be 3 availability zones like zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. So we have choice. We can put our resources in only one zone. We can put our resources on this zone, or we can put our resources on third zone, or like all the 3 zones. So it depends upon us. So the Azure region will look like this one. And here, these are the zones. And we Azure provide us the option, like we can select zone 1, zone 2, or zone 3. Or we can select 1 and 2 both, 1, 2, and 3, all 3. So let me show you where we get this option. So now I am creating a this virtual machine. So now here under the availability options, I can select availability zone or availability set. And here we get the option for availability zone. And here this is the region where I can select the region. So now types of Azure services, like Azure services use 3 zones in 3 ways. Like one is zonal services, like we pin the resource to a specific zone, like virtual machine, disk, IP address. Then zone redundant services, like Azure automatically spread them across the zones. Example, zone redundant storage, ZRS or SQL database zone redundant. Here we do not select the zone. Azure automatically put our services on any zone, depends upon the Azure. And then non-regional services, like they work globally and not tied to any region, like Azure DNS, Microsoft Entra ID. So it's like that. Then there is one more option, that is that Azure use regional pairs for big disasters. Like most Azure regions are paired with another region at least 300 miles away. Like mostly what Azure do, they pair one region with another so that in case of any big disaster, there is no loss of any data or resources. Example, East US, it is paired with West US, and Southeast Asia, it is paired with East Asia. And why region pair exist? Because they protect against large natural disasters like earthquakes, floods, like power grid failures, war, or civil unrest. If one region goes down, Microsoft can recover services in its paired region. Like in paired region, if we have stored our services on any region, Microsoft automatically store the backup in the other regions. And there are additional benefits as your updates are rolled out at one region at a time. So if there is any update going on in one region, then the data is safe on the another. And in large outage, like one region in the pair gets priority for recovery. Then data stays within the same geography for legal compliance. Except Brazil South means uh, if like for the regions pair, the data will be same, remain in the same geography. Like if there is a pair between East US and West US, so data will not go to Microsoft do not save the data in another locations like other countries. So it will only save the data like East US data into West US data and West US data into East US data. So there is an exception from like Brazil South. It's a special case, like it is connected with uh, US. Then special cases. Some regions have one directional pairing. Like some regions have only one direction. Like West India data, it is like linked with South India, but South India does not rely on West India. Same Brazil South, it is linked with South Central US, but South Central US, it is not linked with Brazil. So that these are the two special cases. So this is the way how regional pair works. Like this is Azure region 1. Like let us assume this is East US and this is West US. So it is linked with both. Like data from here can go to here. Microsoft saves the data from this region to this region and also from this region to this region. If there is something wrong on like West US, then we can recover the data from here. And if there is something wrong on East US, we can recover the data from here. So these are the working of regional pair. Now there are some exceptions like sovereign regions and special government control Azure. Like sovereign regions are isolated version of Azure for compliance or legal reasons. I had explained in the old video. Like there are some US government Azure, like US DoD Central, US government Virginia, and it has special features like like it is physical and logical isolated, operated by screened US personnel. Extra security certification means these are the like regions or these are the data centers which is not connected with any other like public cloud, Azure public cloud. Same like Azure China Azure, and these run through a partnership with via net, not directed by Microsoft. Means these Azure China cloud, it is not connected with any other cloud. So there are some exceptions also. So now I will explain how we get the management group subscriptions. So if we if we create any subscription, any Azure account, there is at the very top it's a root management group. Under root management group, there are we can create other management groups like human resource. Here I have created human resources, IT, marketing, and we can also directly create subscriptions also, number of subscriptions under any management group. And if we make any changes to this management group, it will get affected on here, human resources, IT, marketing, management group plus subscription also, EA, these two subscriptions also. And same under these management groups, we can create subscriptions. And here like so all the subscriptions, it's come under management group. And if we talk about the last thing, or we can say the root, that is the root management group. Okay. If we make any changes to this, it will appear everywhere. If we make any changes to this management group, it will appear here. If I make any changes to this, like in IT management group, it will appear to here. So in this way, this follows the algorithm. So that's all for today. And in the next video, let me just check it. So in the next video, I will cover this Azure policy in initiatives. And I know like this is also a theory part. And regarding this RBAC, then I will cover the lab part. Thank you and have a good day.